All right, how's it going, gentlemen? This is your main man, Scott McKay, coming at you again with another episode of the Mountaintop Podcast. Tomorrow, if you're listening to this, if you're listening to the sound of my voice right when the show comes out, tomorrow is the 250th anniversary of the good old US of A. This is a special show. We're going to talk about America. And if you're outside America, hold space for us because we're celebrating. I don't do this. I'm not really jingoistic about being American. I am rather jingoistic about being a Texan, but that's a different thing. Actually, I'm very proud to be an American. I have an American passport, I travel the world. I do believe our country is the greatest country on earth, and I don't think it's only a biased opinion because it's a well-traveled opinion. Y'all in Australia, you're doing pretty well, okay, but you're still not America. Today with me, returning to the show for probably the fourth or fifth time, is one of the busiest guys I know, and for good reason. He's very popular because he's very smart, he's very cool, and everybody just loves having him around. He makes the room a better place when he's there. So what better guy to come talk about American men and American women, which is the topic of today's show, especially American women, by the way. We'll beat our chests a little as American men and be proud of ourselves. But hey, we want to talk about the chicks. We want to talk about the chicks. You want to talk about the chicks as much as we do, so we might as well dive right in. Tommy Breedlove is the author of Legendary, and he has been speaking. He's been holding masterminds, and he is from the great state of Georgia, which not coincidentally is right here in the United States of America. He is an all-American dude. Tommy, welcome back, my brother.
Hell yeah, brother. You got me all fired up about the 250th anniversary of America. I have traveled the world as well. I am biased and think it's one of the greatest places. And greetings from the beautiful Appalachian Mountains, some of the oldest mountains in the world, if not the oldest mountains in the world, here in North Georgia. So stoked to be here, brother.
Yeah, man. Greetings back at you from the independently spirited San Antonio, Texas, where we fought the Alamo, which most people don't really know outside Texas that was actually a lost battle.
Bad.
That's where you got Remember the Alamo, and San Jacinto a little bit later is really where things got cleared up.
Yeah, lost some pretty famous people there too.
Yeah, including my sixth great-grandfather, Makaja Autry. So I am a son of the Alamo.
That's
amazing. Got your Crockett's and Sam Houston's and Sam Bowie.
That's right.
Of Bowie knife fame. Yeah.
Yep.
All those guys. John Wayne, of course, famously died at the Alamo.
Many times, probably, during that scene.
Anyway, man, enough about us. Actually, not enough about us.
Yeah,
and literally not enough about us. I think the first place I want to go with this particular show is you are a little younger than me. You were 2 years old in 1976.
I was.
I was about to turn 10 during the Bicentennial, July 4th, 1976, 200 years. Now, you can argue whether 200 is as big a deal as 250. I kind of would argue 250 might be a bigger deal than 200 because, it's a quarter of 1,000. 250 is a nice round number, whereas 200 is just a couple 100s. But the Bicentennial was humongous. We talked about it for 2 years. I had a little H.O. Tycho train set that had America and 250 on it. And there was, I'm sorry, America 200, right? Bicentennial. I had Bicentennial shirts, hats, peanut butter and jelly.
I remember the quarter.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the quarters. Yeah, you bet. For a while there before they started making, quarters, all kinds of things on the tail side. There was a 1976 special quarter. Yeah, you bet. Yeah, you do. You remember all this stuff.
With the eagle.
Right, exactly.
That's right, yeah.
And a different eagle than typical.
Yep.
It was a bigger celebration. It just seemed like we took a real long time to get around to going, oh, yeah, America 250. And I don't know if it's because fewer people are patriotic. I don't know whether it's because Donald Trump is president, and since Donald Trump wants to celebrate the country's 250th birthday, everybody says, oh, we certainly can't do that if Donald Trump's in on it.
At least 60 million say we can't do that, right?
Right, exactly. But something weird has happened, and I do see a smattering of America 250 things. People sort of got in on board right there at the last minute going, all right, well, now that it's a week or two away, maybe. But certainly not for 2 years leading up to it. What do you
Yeah.
think went on there, man?
I don't know, brother. I honestly don't know. It's interesting. I'll say this. My father, who is 86 years old, we just moved him to my hometown. He's getting up there, needs help. But he is he Marine veteran of Vietnam. I think he did 2 terms there, or 2 stints there. 2 terms is probably the wrong word. And he's been talking about it for 2 years. Very similar to the 200, the Bicentennial. What do you think happened? I don't know. It's interesting. I think we're preoccupied with all the wrong things now. I think all over the world, people are preoccupied with social media and being Instagram famous or LinkedIn successful or TikTok dance
Overwhelmed.
party. Yeah. I think it got lost in the shuffle. I think most Americans, if they've traveled anywhere, I think there are people here who have an alternate agenda and want to hurt everything that we stand for and all the freedoms that we fought so hard for. And I think we're coming out of a very difficult time with 2020, with all of that stuff that happened there and the pandemic. And I think we're still recovering from all of that. I really do as a nation. I think we're healing. They've made the media, like him or not, they've made Donald Trump the Darth Vader. They really have. Or the savior, right? So it seems more, I don't know the right word, divided than it ever has.
Well, it's an all or nothing
Which is
logical
crazy.
fallacy that
Which is
really
crazy.
drives eyeballs, drives
Yeah.
views and clicks. When you polarize something, it causes people to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And
I
so we
agree.
see that pervasive around everything in media nowadays.
And their job is to divide us. Their job is to sell media. Their job is to scare us. I mean, we are the user, so they want to sell us whatever media they're pouring down us. So I think the propaganda machine, I think the social media machine, I think we're coming out of a tough time. But I think, when it gets here and tomorrow on this show, I think it's going to be a pretty damn big deal.
Yeah.
And the people that are here, even the people that right now are ashamed to be here because they don't like our particular president, they know they have the right to protest that, unlike so many places in the world that it could be so bad if they even said one bad word. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Blame it on capitalism, right? You have the right to do whatever they want, say whatever they want, divide us in the media the way they want to pay the bills. I just thought it was interesting how Iran leveraged our own freedom against us to create ill will in America and to get people actually rooting for them. I thought that was fascinating to watch.
Yeah,
because people were so gullible.
Gullible and ignorant and uninformed. And you can look around everywhere in America and find a Persian person.
My neighbors
from Iran.
Neighbors are from Iran.
Talk to them and ask them why they're here.
Yes,
most of them don't
really
want
nice
to be here. They love being here, but they want to be back home.
Right.
And there's a reason they're here. Talk to them and understand why they're here,
That's right.
why they love this place, why they love everything we stand for. And you will know real quickly what actually is happening over there in Iran.
Yeah, I think far too many Americans in general just think everybody who's from the Middle East is Ahmed, the dead terrorist. I kill you, and they're just really nice people who want to peacefully coexist, and they're actually really hospitable. You meet
100%.
First thing they do is invite you over, and the dinner is amazing. You know what I mean?
Especially Persians are cool. Wow.
Oh yeah, really. I actually I've been to the Middle East a number of times, and I actually really enjoy it. I think
for those who don't know, Iran and Persia are the same place. Just
yes. And believe it or not,
say that.
Iran is a wonderful place to visit. I've never been there, and I'm itching to because of all the history and all the Persian history, and they make carpets there, and it's actually everybody I know who's ever been there says the people are among the friendliest in the world, and it's a fascinating place.
Yeah, incredible history, incredible food, incredible everything. Really,
Persian women are beautiful.
Indeed.
If you can get them out of their hijab, which is tricky.
Yeah.
American women who are the subject of this show. I'm going to go ahead and just start the debate. I doubt there will be a debate, but let's have a little fun. Resolved. American women are the hottest in the world, and I've been everywhere.
Oof.
You hear about Russian women. You hear about Persian women. You do hear about Persian women. Persian women are underrated. You hear about women in the Baltic regions.
Been to all those
Swedish
places.
women.
Been to all those places. The most beautiful, well, maybe it's because we are the melting pot. Maybe it's because of what we do stand for. Maybe because
Boom. Yes.
the melting pot, you get all the people together and our bloods are mixed and we look different and got all the things. And so pound for pound, I would put us against anywhere in the world. There's beautiful women everywhere. There's not
Pound for pound is a key word. I think I think American women might be a little curvier and thicker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And often in all the right places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love the new trend though of the duck lips. I don't like that. I don't like the way people look with the duck lips. That's a new thing, and everybody wanting to look the same. And I don't know where that came from. I don't know if it came from the Kardashians or wherever. Like huge lips, and where they're. You look at 6 women, they all look exactly the same. I like the diversity of people who look different and are curvier in one place or smaller here or bigger there. I love that. And there's this fad right now of making everybody look the same and puckering things up and busting things out. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, but that's a personal preference.
Yeah. It's a trick if you're getting AI to draw pictures of hot girls for you, which I do legitimately in my work. They all look the same.
Yeah.
They all look like AI slop. They're all hot, but they all look like their sisters.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to kind of prompt AI to get you women who look differently.
Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
not always easy. But now that's translating into the real world. Now, I'm going to counter your argument, which I don't disagree with. I think a lot of times, that's the way fashion trends tend to go.
Oh, yeah.
Women especially will latch onto something and they all want that look. I mean, back in 1976, back, 50 years ago, when there was a bicentennial going on, women didn't all look like duck lip chicks. They all looked like Dorothy Hamill.
That's true.
With a bob haircut, which you never see nowadays. And so, this too shall pass, hopefully. I think one of the things that makes American women particularly amazing is, unlike picturing a French woman or, even dare I say a woman from India, which is a huge diverse population, or a Russian woman, or, pick a country, Ukrainian woman, Persian woman, you're going to have a mental image. You're going to see this woman in your brain. Now, when I say American woman, you could picture a Texas mama in a Suburban. You could picture a Southern belle in her Daisy Duke shorts. You could picture a New York City haute couture fashionista chick with the sunglasses, looking all cool and regal. You could picture a New England preppy chick dripping in Vineyard Vines clothes. You could, of course, picture the California girl, and I'm not sure the Beach Boys got it right. Okay?
Yeah.
At least not 60 years later, 60 years later.
You can damage the Portland woman. You can take that one.
Right, exactly. A lot of tattoos, a lot of superficiality, probably still lots of bikinis. I know women in California are still hot. I know that. But I'm voting for the Southern chicks and the Texas mamas. But the thing is, see, you have this variety. They may all be doing duck faces into their Instagrams nowadays, Tommy. Yeah, sure. But I do think there's this diversity of types within America, not only because of what you said, it's a melting pot, which is a wonderful point, but I also think that America has such diversity within its own borders that, I left out the Mexicanitas and, the women who, you have all these other Latina women are a whole different, several types of genres, actually. California Latinas, Texas Latinas,
so
and
many
Boricuas are all different. Yeah.
Yeah, we have so many African-American people in
yes, that too.
In the Southeast United States.
Right.
Yeah, and beautiful. And I'm from a very diverse part of the world in South Atlanta. I live in the Northern Mountains now, but in South Atlanta, not everybody looked like me, which was awesome. We had an Asian population, a major African-American population, a Latino population, and regardless of what the news says, 95% of us got along really well and dated each other. So it was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, that's right. And, people in the real world just want to get along.
Yeah, we really do. Like the whole world.
We just want to enjoy each other's company. And, and it's been that way for several decades.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in high school, there was some racism, but, even when it's not mixed company, just a bunch of white people, people don't talk racist. It's like, okay, is everybody else gone? All right, let's all act like racists now. Right. It doesn't happen. I think people suspect it does, and maybe it does in certain circles, but I have not heard someone be openly racist in years and years and years and years.
I've only heard it from very elderly people, and they're not even meaning to be racist.
Right?
Which is
Old
weird.
habits die hard kind of
Yeah,
thing.
which is weird. They
Yeah.
would say, I don't understand what I'm saying. And, we're sensitive to it now, and they are not sensitive to it. Like,
Yes.
you didn't have to tell me the ethnicity of the person you were describing.
Right. Yeah. When we went to South Africa, we noticed that people were, especially people who are, retirement age, were still pretty racist people.
Oh, yeah.
Even though the rest of the country is trying very hard.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about them. Heck with South Africa. Yeah. They can
have a lot of hot
have
people
their own
there.
birthday. We can
They have a
celebrate
lot of
them
hot people there, though. I worked with an
Yeah.
entire tribe of South Africans, man. They were very good looking and very
another
fit.
beautiful country, by the way.
Yeah, very fit.
Yes. Well, Americans, people can blame the food. People can blame the chemicals, everything RFK's trying to, get us to pay attention to. But, we aren't the skinniest people in the world. We aren't the slimmest. We don't walk. We all take a car everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Are American women less feminine than they used to be? You get a lot of complaints about, okay, you go to the rest of the world, especially in developing countries, especially in, South America, Latin America, certainly Asia, and everybody's fit and trim. And everybody the women are all feminine. They all still act like women. Have women stopped being feminine here? Is that a liability for American women?
I haven't seen that. Like, I see it portrayed. I see us talking about it. I see there's an agenda on certain media, social media, and certain channels. I think people want that. I can only tell you about the people that I hang around. I run literally 5-day immersive retreats where these people go damn deep, seeking clarity, seeking to know who they truly are, seeking their purpose. When we do the personal development side, most of what we do is leadership and business side. But I'm telling you, we have men and women from all over the country and all different politics. And I think all of the women, I can't speak for all women because that's you can't generalize that, but I think most women want masculine and most masculine want feminine in their partner. And, I'm a lot more emotional than my wife. My wife is much more of a stoic than I am, but she is very feminine at the end of the day. And so is my colleague, Erica, who's number 2 in all of Legendary, and we've become a pretty big company. And we just had a woman who would tell you, I mean, she's pretty card-carrying Democrat from Oregon and one of my favorite people in the world, a poet, all the things, but she craves that masculine energy. And she even said she was the only woman at this last retreat. She said, I've just been amazed because I've been locked up with her sick mother who just passed away, but she was around 6 other like alpha males. And she said, I loved the masculine energy again. I loved being around that energy and it makes me motivated. It gets me charged up, gets her excited to date again. So again, there's perception and reality. There's agenda and reality. What I have found, and I'm in the human development business, man, right? I'm in the success acceleration business. What I have found is people are still pretty much consistent with what we've evolved into being and what we've evolved from. And you can't just agenda that out. There's thousands of years of evolution. There's thousands. So I don't think so. I haven't seen it personally, and I have anecdotal data, a lot of data now. I'm not a data scientist, but I'm not seeing it, especially in the Southeast United States. I'm definitely not seeing it at all. So I'm seeing more, there is women in my life, especially a lot of lesbian women. I have a lot of lesbian friends, and you can see the more feminine, masculine partner in those long-term relationships that are good friends with mine. So even those relationships, there's usually one with a little more masculine energy and one with a little more feminine energy. But for the most part, I think our DNA craves, I think our pheromones crave the differences. I really believe that. And that's all anecdotal, but I'm seeing it real time. And sometimes we're talking to thousands of people. Sometimes we're talking to 16, right? It doesn't matter. I'm not seeing any trend that would lead me to believe we're losing our femininity as America. I really don't. They wouldn't sell so much shit out there to help people, man. We buy a lot of shit. Can I say that on this podcast? We buy a lot of stuff, man. That makes
we on this podcast hope you'll buy a lot of shit from us and from you. So I mean,
right.
Shit away.
Yeah.
I think you touched upon something that's right on the money. you see it portrayed, but not so much in real life. Now,
No.
there's these people from the Pacific Northwest, from New York City. They're going to come at us and go, "Oh, you guys, you got blinders on." But I see you all. I acknowledge you all. I understand there's a lot of women who are non-binary, a lot of people who are non-binary. They're forsaking masculine, feminine energy in general. We know that exists. And
yeah, of course,
we know there are women who want to be super bitches and be the providers and protectors and all that. And God bless them all. But overall,
do you think that's statistically the norm? Not even close.
not even close. No.
Not even close.
Most people are still attracted to motos, members of the other sex. Women still want to be women. Men still want to be men. I think a lot of guys are very confused, and we could go into this. It would be a nice segue. A lot of guys are confused about what that means nowadays because primarily we feel like we should be providers and protectors. But again, this all or nothing media said, no, you need to sit down and shut up and do better, whatever that means, because you're toxic, because you're masculine, and you should believe all women, and women never do wrong and men never do anything right. And a lot of guys just backed off, especially young men, and became neuter earthworms and just said, I'm not going to even wrestle with this.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why they're not getting any girlfriends. The provider protector, that virtuous masculinity, is not only attractive to women and will always be attractive to feminine women because it's the leading element of masculine feminine polarity. We lead with, okay, a provider, a protector, someone who can preside is in your presence, and women get all excited and go, cool. Now that the man can provide and protect, and may not be that she doesn't get a job and she's a freeloader. We can't descend into these negative stereotypes.
Right.
Some people are broken, some people are dysfunctional, but in a healthy environment, the women is freed up to do all those things we live for on weekends: fun, joy, comfort, all those things. The party, hospitality, all those things that make life wonderful are brought by feminine women.
Mm.
But what we see happening is no focus at all on virtuous masculinity. And so men are thinking, well, women actually want to provide and protect for themselves. They want to go get a job. But, like I always say, when their house catches on fire, they're still going to call the fire department. A bunch of guys are going to come and put the fire out for them.
Yep.
Again, God bless, more power to female firefighters. But you know what? Ultimately, it's going to be a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
And so I think American men, we feel masculine. We know we should be masculine, but we're believing the media telling us not to be masculine.
Yeah.
And Tommy, I think it's because when there's not a man in charge of the house, the family falls apart. And when there's no family, there's no leadership. And something bigger than the family, cough, government, can step in and start being in control. So I think we need to be vigilant as men on that stuff.
I will say this. I'll give you some anecdotal data as well. So where I live, there's a massive amount of special operations here. The mountain phase of Ranger training, which is Army Special Ops, is here in my hometown. So we also have the University of North Georgia, which is the military college. And there's a reason I'm saying all this. And so the best of the best, I get to be around them. I'm part of some of their trainings. And so let me tell you, the data it's still 98% men. But let me tell you, the women who actually make it through it are world-class and elite badass people, man, both mentally and physically, but they don't lower the standards. So, but statistically, you're right. We have to, going back, and let's not overstate that. Something I think we both said, there's also pheromones and energy and smell and what we crave and what is our DNA and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. You're not going to media that away. But I think anything to take power and control, taking the virtuous out of anything, taking the morality out of anything, taking the tradition out of anything, taking the borders out of anything. What do you mean borders? Well, go anywhere in the country and go anywhere in the world and try to migrate there. You're not going to be able to do it. So yeah,
I always find it's interesting how China will criticize America for being racist and for human rights violations.
Try to be a Muslim there, and try
They
to be
have.
they'll literally put you in prison camps. Look it up and go to Asia in general and see if racism doesn't exist. They're not just racist. They don't even see certain countries as human beings. Go there and see what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's a digression. Let's not go negative. But getting back to it, if you have an agenda to make things less virtuous, if you have an agenda to take away borders or thinking or my way or the highway or not freedom of speech, it's very dangerous, and take men out of the family and all the things. I think we have to be vigilant. I think people are vigilant. And I think if it feels wrong, it is wrong. And I'm not going to be told what is wrong. I'm not going to be bullied in. And if we've got into this righteous bullying. I'm righteous and I can bully you and I can shame you and I can cancel you. And, a lot of us say, I just don't let people who don't matter, man. And it feels wrong to me. It is wrong. And I think if people are confused, it's purposeful, because they've lost.
How very American of you.
Yeah, I think it's very purposeful. If people are confused, I think there's a reason they're confused. And I think it's because of what they're watching and seeing. And there's an agenda out there, and the agenda is power.
Who they've been hanging out with.
Yep. And the agenda is power and control. And if you don't think that on both sides, right? And so it's interesting. I could going back to it, at our most intimate thing that we do, those retreats, as well, I was just talking about with my friend. We don't allow political discussions and we don't allow religion. We do allow spirituality. So if you want to talk about God, or as long as it doesn't condemn or exclude, we allow it.
As long as it doesn't get dogmatic.
Correct. As long as you don't get certain and condemn and exclude. And I'm telling you, we have, again, just like this is what makes this country so great, man. You have freedom of choice. You have freedom of speech. You have freedom. You have more freedoms than anywhere in the world, bar none. And when I get these, entrepreneurial business leaders, men and women together from all over this great country, they get along, they like each other, they go deep, and they don't get into the politics. They don't get in the mud. There's no noise there, and it just works, man. And I think that's what's beautiful about this. But yeah, do we need to be vigilant on all of this? For lack of a better word, righteous bullying? Hell yeah, we do. Because if it feels wrong, it is wrong.
Yeah, it seems like freedom has come full circle, and now people feel freedom to even be jerks.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily new. I mean, freedom of speech is freedom of speech, so if I'm free, if I feel free to limit your speech, that's still sort of an attempt at freedom of speech, demented and sad, but freedom. I believe nowadays, getting back to the America 250 thing, which I speak so glibly about, this America 250 thing, the 250th anniversary of America, there's a lot of American guilt. And, this comes on the heels of race guilt, male guilt. We have American guilt. America, for years and years, since certainly World War I, has been the New York Yankees, Los Angeles Dodgers, Los Angeles Lakers of the world. We buy the team and expect to win the championship, and everybody rolls their eyes because we're not the underdogs ever. Yeah. Except in ski jumping in the Winter Olympics. We're definitely the underdogs there. But in everything else in the world, America first. And so when a president comes along and says, why are we supporting the entire world? Why are we the world police? We should be America first. It bristles people because, again, the media has trained us to believe we shouldn't be the champions. It's someone else's turn. Men should relax, and the future is female. America should relax, and the future is global. So I think a lot of people are very timid about celebrating America 250 because it sounds very arrogant. And yet, without America, where would this world be? I mean, That's the facts. That's the facts. America's brought amazing innovations. The free world is the free world because America stepped in. Do we make
Imperial
mistakes?
Japan and Nazi Germany would have been a really bad time for all of us for a long time. Imperial Japan and Nazi Germany would have been horrific.
Yes.
Horrific.
That's right.
For everyone.
Except not to live in the past. I still think we're doing great things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure. So the only thing I'm going to push back on you, Scott, is I don't think it's guilt. I think it's shame. So guilt is I've actually done something wrong. Shame is I am bad because I'm American, because yes, 200 years ago, or technically 85 years ago, 65 years ago, we still had very racist tendencies. Well, I'm 52 and didn't have anything to do with that.
Well, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
I think you make a fair point. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yep.
Guilt and shame are very closely related concepts, but they're not synonymous.
Yep.
Shame is what you feel because of guilt.
Yeah. And shame is given to you by someone else too, by the way, most of the time.
Oh, it can be imposed. Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people reach back into the dark parts of American history, and then the guilt is imposed upon them by media, especially for that. And that's focused on at the exclusion of the great things America has done. And therefore people feel shame for being American because of what we've done. Or it could be the New York Yankees, Los Angeles Lakers thing. Especially when we go overseas, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of sorry, but I'm an American. I had someone tell me one time, oh, when you go overseas, just tell everybody you're Canadian. I'm like, what?
I'm not doing that.
I'm not. I'm proud to be an American. And they're like, well, you're going to get what you deserve. And I go everywhere, and people don't hate Americans.
You hear the Stewie word there, deserve? That's a shame-based word too. Like, what do you deserve, Scott? Yeah, that's shame. Deserve.
Well, now you're talking to the deserve what you want guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have deserve in my very URL, but I'm coming from a position of moving away from an entitlement mentality.
Yeah.
Instead of I deserve this, give it to me. I kind of have to earn the woman of my dreams. I have to be the kind of guy she wants. So, deserve is a nuanced word.
Yeah.
But I agree. It can be weaponized in the way you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of Americans, especially when we go overseas, we're expecting people not to like Americans and to boo us off the stage. But generally speaking, people are like, oh, Americans are fun. We're typically attractive. I may be the traveling exception. We're a lot of fun. We're independent. I mean, I think a lot of the world sees Americans and Australians similarly in terms of, the no worries, happy-go-lucky. We're not afraid of much. We're courageous. We'll battle, no problem. It's a mere flesh wound. They see Americans like that, Is it a stereotype? Yes. But I think the rest of the world doesn't see America as the enemy. Not really. I mean, you talked about the Persian folks who their country is saying death to America. Where do they go to flee that? They come here.
Yeah.
I mean, hello, wake up. But the media is driving this shame on our own people because of something we should apparently feel guilty for, that in many ways, you're right, we didn't even do.
Yeah.
So I think to bring that conversation back full circle, Tommy, I think most of the real world doesn't actually feel like that. I do think most of us actually are happy to hold an American passport and understand our freedoms and understand things could have been a lot worse if we were born on North Korean soil. I think people know that.
Yep. Somalia. There's a lot of places. Yeah. Let me tell you this. Let's go way back. Human history sucks.
In general.
What we have done, I mean, we can build some of the greatest buildings and technology and, where the same people can build skyscrapers and fly to Mars, but we can also build nuclear weapons. There's been atrocities all over the world since the beginning of men in the name of religion, in the name of power, in the name of my economics, in the name of, less than 300 years ago, if somebody with a different culture, a different religion, or a different race came to your door, they were probably 90% to 80% meant to do some harm. And so human history is filled with atrocities. Human history is filled with racism. Human history is filled with certainty that always leads to disaster. I'm certain about this, then it's disastrous. And so American history is no different, except we've done a lot more right than we've done wrong.
Yeah, I think if you go back 150, 200 years ago anywhere, you're going to not be happy with the way your country and your people were behaving.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree. And I think that's
right. And Europeans and Asians have loved shooting at each other and all over the world. I mean, they've loved shooting at each other since the beginning. It's same with Africa too. And so, there's still atrocities that, they're still
happens.
Look into Sudan right now. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, the shame that's given to us, the agenda of shame to don't be proud. And I travel the world just like you do. I'm getting ready to go speak in Croatia. Fired up about that, man. I
Oh yeah.
guarantee
Have you
you.
been to Croatia yet?
Never. I've
Oh,
heard nothing but good.
oh, it's underrated. Americans don't even realize Croatia's there. The Europeans have figured it out a long time ago.
And
Oh, yeah.
30 years
Wonderful
ago, they
place.
were slaughtering each other over religion. Slaughtering. Genocide.
Yes.
Genocide.
Yes. And it was the Christians slaughtering the Muslims.
Correct.
Yeah. But you didn't hear about that in the media.
No. So there is, here it's about power, control, money, media, and division. And that, that stuff sells and that stuff makes a lot of money. And so, yeah, I don't accept the shame. I've traveled the world. I've never had someone question me as an American or try to do something to me because I was American. And, I know everyone else like me goes and travels. So I'll keep saying, if it feels wrong, it is wrong. Why not be proud of where you're from? If you're not, then move. Go somewhere else and see what it's like.
I don't think most of us want to move, though. I think more people want to move here than vice versa. I mean, they love to proof text, find that one example of the guy who migrated to Russia or to China. I have a Facebook friend who has moved to China, and he brags about living in China. And it's funny because he'll get a whole bunch of people who agree with him. Wow, China sounds nicer than America. It's like, wow, you were easily swayed by one biased Facebook post now, weren't you?
Yeah. I had a friend that lived there for 4 years. They actually keep track of you, and you lose social status points if you say certain things or do certain things or act certain ways, and it could lead. And I'm just saying, like, hey, I don't, as an example, I don't believe in this policy that we just did with Tibet. You could lose 60 points, and then at 80 points, you could go to prison. So, yeah, be careful what you wish for over there.
Yeah. I mean, I understand China's really cool, and it's come a long way, especially since the first time I went there when people were still riding bicycles around.
Pretty
it was smoggy. I mean, I understand that you can't believe the media on anything, but American men have deservedly put up the concept of heroism and benevolent heroism, being the good guy, even in Hollywood. And, Hollywood was the first bully pulpit of culture globally. Americans and the way people look at Americans from abroad, and the way people look at American broads, all of that has been influenced by Hollywood from early on. And the good guys were heroic.
That's right.
The bad guys were Russians or always had British accents. The bad guys always have British accents. They can't be Americans.
They're usually good looking too, though. The bad guys.
Self-stickers. But Baywatch. That's another thing we didn't touch upon that deserves at least lip service. Is a lot of foreign guys think American women are sluts because of what they've seen on TV. They may not be really far off. I mean, God bless the U.S. of A.
Yeah,
but it's certainly not like Eastern European culture or places that were devoid of organized religion for a long time. Those people have, the boundaries there are different. But indeed, American men have been put up as heroes, and we've been heroes. And we as American men are raised to be heroes. And I'm not sure it's like that everywhere in the world. And I think that's another thing that makes America great. Now, if you're a cad or you're a jerk or you're an a-hole or you're a villain, well, then, go to therapy or something. But I think most Americans want to do right. And you see that despite our bickering, when the chips are down, when there's a storm, when there's a hurricane, when there's a flood, what do the men do? They show up.
Yeah,
they show out. And that's the way it always ends up happening.
Yeah, we mostly run to the fire. Run to the fire, not away from the fire.
That's right. And I think even the garden variety guys who sit at home with Cheeto fingers, they'll rise up and be American when the chips are down. I just believe I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, maybe I should do something. I do fear for our next generation who's spent a whole lot of time with blue light. But I ultimately believe, just like you said very eloquently before, there's a force here that you're not going to stop. You could try to keep men and women from screwing, but boy, are we horny. It's not going to stop, Tommy.
Yeah.
We're going to keep on making young Americans, as David Bowie once famously said. I love this conversation. I love America, and I love you, man. I'm so glad you're here. I think this has been a fantastic conversation. before we run out of time, I want to tell these guys how to find you, because I know these guys are going to want to get their hands on your book, Legendary.
Yeah.
Right at the top, once again, of my Amazon influencer queue, gentlemen, mountaintoppodcast.com/Amazon. Also, livelegendary.today is Tommy's new site. Give us the elevator pitch, man, on what's up at that site.
Well, let's start with the book, man. If you're not a reader, I'll read the damn book to you. And so there's no excuse. So go to Audible and get it. It's a Wall Street Journal and USA Today bestseller. And
Nice.
Just like Legendary, what they'll find at the website and what they'll find in the book, Legendary is about aspiring to be legendary, not only being elite at what you do. So it's for that driven, ambitious business leader and entrepreneur. It's not for the rest of the world. It's not for the ambivalent. It's not for the apathetic. It's not for the entitled. It's not for the victimhood. But if you want to be elite at what you do and you want to be elite in who you are or aspire to be those things, go to livelegendary.today. Start with listening or reading the book. If you want to hang out with world-class and badass people in amazing places and connect, to challenge each other, to connect, and God willing, conquer your business and life goals, come check out one of our communities, masterminds, programs, retreats, adventure experiences. But we're not for everybody. I'm just telling this podcast. Just don't call me if you're fucking lazy. We're not for you. But if you want to be an elite at what you do and who you are, we're your place, man. So check out the book. Let me read it to you. Go to livelegendary.today, or even better, email me directly at tommy@livelegendary.today. Thank you for allowing me to do that, brother.
Now, you see, gentlemen, I had the right guy for the show today. How American was that pitch, man? For what it's worth, as always, you can go to mountaintoppodcast.com/live-legendary and be teleported to Tommy's site as well. You guys are used to that. Live Legendary is the keyword to put behind the URL.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't talk about is we have better cars than anybody in the world. Until Ferrari can build SUVs and four-wheel drives and pickup trucks instead of just sports cars, I'm gonna stick to my guns there.
I have a Bronco with no top and no sides on it right now to drive these beautiful mountains. It's a badass car and can do and go anywhere.
And take your beautiful American woman with you.
Damn right. With her blonde hair and her green eyes.
Gentlemen, if you've not been to Mountaintop Podcast lately, go grab the free report. It's a new one. I've had the same one up there for years. I switched things up a little. I made this one super simple to wrap your head around. Flip the switch. 5 ways to get better with women immediately. You don't have to memorize anything. You don't have to learn anything. You can just start doing this stuff. How American of me, right? Immediate gratification on tap. Get that at Mountaintop Podcast. Our 3 American sponsors are just about as patriotic as you can get. Jocko Willink's company, Origin in Maine. The guys at Heroes Soap give back a percentage to wounded warriors. The guys at the Keyport out of Austin, Texas. The everyday carry device that every American man needs. Hey, go check out our sponsors. It's America's birthday. Use the coupon code Mountain10 to get whatever you want.
Hell yeah.
Gentlemen, God bless you. God bless America. Happy birthday, America. And until I talk to you again real soon, this has been Scott McKay from X and Y Communications in San Antonio, Texas. Be good out there.